Okay, and to continue the tournament, I played a few moves in the space between videos, not a lot to cover really. After I had done the opening, I castled. My opponent played bishop e6, so my undermining of e4 was, I think, ready to take root. I took. They took on c4. I took on f5. Then they traded on c3. Then queen d7 to win back the pawn. I played queen c2, so they had to give me both the bishops in the bishop pair. Then I attacked the queen, and they came over. Instead of defending my c-pawn, I played rook b1. Now they have castled queenside. Very dangerous to castle that way. That looks so good. Must have a win, but I can't see it. Yeah, it just looks so nice. Okay, let's try rook b5. This move may not be the best, but I'm attacking the queen. If queen takes c3, I'm looking at things like bishop e3 or bishop d2, and then rook fb1. In fact, knight d4 would be an issue, so bishop e3 must be right. But I also have the g2 bishop pointing at b7. This is surely good for me. Even if it isn't, I don't believe it. Even if a computer was like, oh no, you're losing, I must be doing well here. Bishop e3 now isn't so urgent because c3 is already hitting it. Let's paralyze them. Bishop g5. So I'm now stopping their knights maneuvering around. I'm trying to increase my attack as best I can. It still is not looking too good for my opponents. I'm down to 4 minutes because I had to set up the recording for this next video. So I did lose a little bit of time. But oh, rook e8. Okay, so I have to act quickly. e4 is just about defended, but then my rook is not defended enough. So let's continue attacking. Rook fb1. Try charging at them. I've got a little sort of sneaky trick with rook takes b7. If queen takes, I have bishop h3 in the future, not quite yet, but I'm nearly there. It's kind of broadcasting my intentions though, so it's not exactly a subtle move. However, I have moves like e5, which could be interesting at some stage, opening up more stuff. Wow, rook e5, no fear. They are really going for it. Surely bishop check wins. I can't believe this. I can't believe it doesn't win. Bishop check. Knight d7 may be their best move, but then I just take the rook on d8. So king b8 must be right. I'm just going to sack. I say sack. I'm going to win their queen, but I'm going to give up potentially a tiny bit of material for it. Actually, I win a pawn as well, don't I? I'm not even giving up material. I'm just going straight for it. Okay, rook takes b7. Let's try running at you. Then rook takes b7, check, king takes. Right, let's evaluate my position right now. 2 bishops against 2 knights, queen against 2 rooks. This is generally looking good. Bishop's attacked. f4 does kind of shut in the bishop. Bishop e3, they do attack e4 twice. Bishop f4, they go rook somewhere. I don't know, bishop e3. Let's just cut out any options of losing my queen, some sort of weird tactic. I'm hoping for rook takes, and queen b5 will win very, very fast. If knight takes e4, maybe bishop g2. I'm just sort of pressurizing. So overall, this is looking very nice. e4 is actually almost a poison pawn. It's hard for them to capture. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they have some way out of this, but it's not looking nice. It's very, very tricky, and they're down to 2 minutes as well. This is another plus for me. Yeah, if rook takes, queen b5. If knight takes, bishop g2. And then bishop takes knight, rook takes, then queen b5. And I'm still on b5. I'm hitting his king and his knight, so he will have to surrender it by moving the king. So that's the key area. He has done knight there. Perfect. Bishop g2. Perfect. Brilliant. Now rook, where could he put his rook? Rook d to e8. Can I then just take and then play queen there? Yeah, he has done it. So let's win back my piece. Well, I say win it back, just get back the material advantage. So I feel like I was a pawn up at one stage, but that was so long ago. It feels like 28 moves have passed, even though it's been only 24 turns. So queen b5 is the plan. Simple, effective. Winter knight. Their two rooks should not be a match for my queen and bishop combo. Oh wow, he resigned. Perfect, okay. So I'm not going to analyse that one too deeply because partly because I had to set up the video, so I'm a bit behind on looking at other people's matches. Slobit is still playing. That's the game I'm most interested in. But we will have a look at Kvenki as well. Name I'm probably mispronouncing like anything. Let's have a look at Slobit first. That is the game that's fascinating. If Slobit does not win, I will be first place without contest. Then of course we'll still have to play the last round. But if I can draw the last game, that'll be enough. Slobit as black is up a pawn, so he does have material advantage. White, on the other hand, has active rooks. And, not a bad queen or bishop either. This could go either way. I'm hoping white wins. Now, Kvenki, I did say that I would look at this game. This one doesn't terribly interest me, but I will have a quick glance. Okay, now it is interesting me because it's a lot more explosive than the other game. Two bishops are just roving all over the board there, and black has had enough. He does not want those two white bishops that are so well coordinated staying on the board and being centralized. Gives up the exchange. I think white probably has to take, which they have done. Rojazu is very low on time. Kvenki is not amazing on time, but a lot better than Rojazu. He has done a fork. Rojazu has found a way to possibly win some material. This might be quite good actually. Queen h6, king e8. Oh wow, he has elected to lose his bishop. That may have been the best plan. Okay, I don't think losing the bishop was right. I mean, I take back what I said. Just play bishop b5 and then knight takes the rook and then bishop takes back, and you're still potentially about equal, but you've got way more time and a passed pawn, making black's life difficult. Queen takes a3 does look incredibly brave, but also just a little bit silly, because you will allow the white queen to do all these checks. Now, queen f3 is a move, attacking f5, pinning it, and then when black defends with the queen, I would suspect, you can then push the pawn. But if they defend with knight d6, then you play g4, you win the bishop. Done d6 anyway. Wow, that is also very brave. Oh, queen h6. No, you missed it. Queen h6 would have been a fork. Beautiful move, attacking both the king and the knight, which would not have had sufficient defense. So he missed it. He may still win back a piece though, if queen somewhere, rook takes knight, queen takes, and then take the bishop. However, queen to e5. If white takes the knight with the rook, queen e1 mate. So actually, black can just play a move like king to g7 or something, and then he'll be fine. He's played queen f6. Now, rook takes knight does work, because if queen a1 check, rook back to d1. So, Kvenki has managed to win back a piece, it appears. Right, back to Slobit's game. Okay, a lot has happened here. Slobit is still a pawn up, so it looks like he may win, and that could settle it. Let's just have a quick look at Rojazu's game, because it could be over any moment. Oh, he lost the knight as well, it's even worse. Oh, and he's lost his bishop too, this is over. Kvenki can just play queen takes. Ooh dear, the time, that's the thing. It makes you play not very well when you're down to a few seconds online. Even in real over-the-board games, in Blitz, you can play a lot better than this, because the clock is right next to you. There's a kind of psychological feeling that, because you can see the clock and physically affect when to press it, you have more control over the situation, I think. Alright, Slobit's game then. I think it might be the last one left going. It is the last one left going. So let's have a quick look at the points. Not counting Slobit, obviously. Yeah, so Slobit's the only one who can catch me on 4 points. If Salvignon wins, then I can just draw the final game. Just offer a draw and I will win the tourney. That'd be nice. I doubt that will happen though. Right, back to the game. Right, Sauvignon is not doing too well. He's still a pawn down. Can Slobit convert this? Can the FM show his technique? Now, Sauvignon should not take, under any circumstances, king and pawn endings, a pawn down, lose about 95% of the time. In these endings, about 100% of the time. When there's no passes for the side who has the least amount of material. Ooh, White could resign around now, but he could try. He could play h4, h5, try and trade off all the pawns on the king's side, and then hopefully sack his bishop for the b pawn. I think bishop d4, and that's what he does. Controlling b2, the final blockading square for the white bishop. There's no way of stopping black playing b3, because if king c2, king c4. So b2 is the last hope. But the trouble is that the moment black can play it, they might just do pawn b2, because even with a trade of bishops, the black king is so far advanced that they can just run after the white pawns and win them. Also, white is almost in Zugzwang. There's practically nothing they can do. The moment they move their king to, say, b1, black can invade even more with king b3. They probably don't need to. Alright, let's see what happens here. b3, I mean. King b1 is practically forced. Now, the black pieces are actually shutting the king away. And he's resigned. Okay, I thought that might happen. So, going into the final round, I will have to play Slobit. The winner of this game will win the tournament. It's all very, very tense. Well, I'm actually not feeling too tense, so I'll still be second at least. Joint second with a bunch of other people. Only 2 people on 3 actually, so there is a bit of a competition for third and for second as well. If, let's say, Air or Mayhem wins and I beat Slobit or Slobit beats me, it could be a 2 or 3 way tie for second place. If Air and Mayhem have already played each other though, then they'll have to play other people and it will get confusing. I can't remember if they played in the first round. I feel like they didn't, but I might be wrong. And I will be... I don't know which... Slobit was black last turn, so he'll probably be white, I'll probably be black. So I might get a Sicilian. I might get one more Sicilian before the end. So let us see. Do I have black? I do have black. Ah, no Sicilians. Alright, let's do knight f6 then. Finish without a Sicilian. Do I do Budapest? For you, I will do the Budapest. He's already had this, but I'm not going to play the Farge Gambit, which I can't even say properly. I'm going to play the line I know, knight c6. Now, bishop c5 is the move if white goes knight f3. I don't actually do that in those positions, but that is the recommended move. Bishop b4 check. This is a very simple way to play. After bishop f4 on move 4 for white, I could have played g5, which is a really complicated move, which goes into a kind of crazy attack. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to play simple. They have played e3. Now, I think I take straight away. I never remember quite what to do in these positions, but I think I take first. Now, white can take me, and they do, so I will take back. It's good. I'm not losing on time. Doing well. Bishop e2. Now, I think castles is fine. I don't want to do anything ridiculous. Let's just castle. Castles as well is good. Now, bishop d6 is actually a surprising move for me. Bishop d6, knight e4, and then things get really confusing. I don't really like it too much though. d6 is quite good. I don't really like d6, then my bishop gets shut in. Bishop takes knight is okay. Knight g6 is the other move. Knight g6 is the move I used to do, so let's do knight g6. Bishop takes c7 is actually a blunder because of d6, and their bishop gets trapped in the coffin. So knight g6, bishop thingy-majig, bishop to g3. And I get a solid position. Yeah, bishop d6. This is recommended in, I think it's Timothy Taylor's book on the Alekhine, but it might be somebody else who recommends this line. It was written in about 2005, I want to say. So back then it was cutting-edge theory of several masters had just started playing it. And it was having a mini resurgence. Then there was an antidote found where white kept the advantage for a week later, I expect. Because I've never had a great position out of this. But it has been okay. Normally queen c2 is played here along with c5, which will try to hamper my improvement of the bishop. If white goes knight e3, that's great. I'll just knight e4. I mean, I'll just trade queens and then play d6. So again, it's not technically the right way of playing. Bishop queen e7, I think, is actually better, but that might be easier. Then again, do I want to be giving a 2100 FM? Well, 21 rated player on this, but actually 2300 FM an advantage. Maybe I should go queen e7. Tricky. Let's see what he does first. Do queen c2. I don't have much choice. So queen c2 would actually be nicer if he plays that. I should have a simple queen e7. White gets a small edge, but it's a game. Still stuff going on. Knight e4, perfect. Right, do I trade queens or not? I'm an attacking player, actually. I'm going to say don't trade queens. I'm going to see if I can win this with an interesting attack. I'm thinking of even going a5, rook a6, doing the old-fashioned Budapest, swinging my rook to h6 with an attack. But my knight on g6 does cut out that option, actually. He's done knight c3. So he's trying to go knight d5. I don't really have a good way of stopping it. So d6, improve my pieces. c6 just looks really silly. Not improving. Knight d5, I can just go queen, I don't know, d8, let's say. Protects c7, stops my pieces dropping off, and it also allows my bishop to move out anyway. So they haven't succeeded in preventing development, which for me is becoming more and more important as I play more chess. Just simple ideas. Queen d4 is an interesting way of trying to gain a space advantage, I guess. If queen d4, maybe I just go like bishop e6 or rook e8 or something. Yeah, that seems to be a sensible way of playing. Queen d4, yeah. Let's just improve. Which one do I do? Rook e8 or bishop? I don't actually know which one's best. I could even go b6, just taunting him, but that doesn't look right. I don't know. Rook e8 looks okay. If knight d5, I still go queen d8, I think. And then maybe d7. I don't know. d8, d7. Difficult. I actually have to calculate that for a moment. Queen to d8, rook d1, then I have c5, but then their knight can't move anywhere without doing a discovered attack on my queen, but I can then take the knight and be fine. So queen d8 looks okay. Queen d7 would be useful for me controlling light squares because my pawns are on dark squares. They have done rook d1. Interesting. Where do I put the bishop? e6 is probably okay. f5 might be interesting. Queen d5 might be annoying though. Alright, let's do bishop f5. It's a more active move than doing bishop e6, I think. And if knight d5, I still have queen somewhere. Queen d7 or queen d8. White does have this annoying space advantage though, so I don't have equality yet. I feel like I might be alright though. Rook fe1. Okay, I wasn't expecting that move. Now, where to go next? Rook ad... No, I can't go rook ad8 because of queen takes a7. Ah, that's annoying. c5 loses a pawn. b6 looks a little ugly, but it might be the best move. Ugh, don't like playing it. Queen e5? Yeah, let's do queen e5. I've changed my mind. Let's trade queens. I can't seem to get rid of his space advantage, so I will happily trade pieces to alleviate it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I take with my knight or the pawn. Taking with the pawn does take away his space advantage, but it gives him the d-file. It does look a tad ugly, and knight d5 is coming after that. Well, maybe I have rook c8. It's a difficult decision. Tricky. If he does f4, I can actually take on e3, so that's unlikely. He could go queen d2, avoiding the queen trade. But then I feel like I've got enough space. Oh, he's done bishop to f3. Interesting. So queen takes queen, pawn takes, rook takes, pawn c6, and there's no way through. So that's an interesting way of playing. Queen takes, rook takes. No, I can't go c6. That's the problem. Knight at e5, bishop takes b7, rook a b8, bishop moves, rook takes b2. Yeah, let's take the queen. I seem to not lose a pawn. And my pieces are very badly placed, so by trading pieces I must be alright. That's my hope anyway. It gives the e5 square to my knight if they take with the rook. Let's see what happens. Don't really like disconnecting my pawns like that if I lose b7, but I think it's a lesser of two evils situation. It's not ideal, but I think I have to. Also built up a little bit of advantage on the clock. Not a big deal, but every little helps. It all matters. What to do? Does he? Well, he has to take the queen. There's nothing else to do. I will trade rooks on e1 if he takes with the pawn. Even though it gives him the file, I quite like doing this because it will then allow me to play c6. And actually, could I just play c6 anyway? The thing is, I like trading at this stage because trading gets me to an ending, and I'm quite good at those. And also, he's still got a space advantage. I don't know. Difficult, actually. Do I play c6 straight away, or do I play rook takes rook? It's a difficult decision. Shouldn't really be spending much time on this because I have to do something fairly soon. Interesting. I actually don't know. Let's do c6. No idea. If he trades rooks, I'm not too upset with that. Oh, g3, okay. I don't know, trade rooks. So I had to spend all this time analysing it, and I'm like, nah, okay, just trade it anyway. And then, just to make sure that I'm not doing anything silly, king f8, prevent his rook coming in and infiltration of my f-file. Not f-file, my 7th rank. Why am I saying f-file? That seems weird. Rook e8 is the simple plan. Trade pieces. He's got a space advantage, but the more you push the pawns, the weaker they become, ironically, because they're closer to my army, they're closer to my forces. So I'm hoping that his d4 and c4 pawns actually become weak as the pieces get traded. Also, you know, rook e8 and then trading on e8 would help me develop my king to the center of the board. So it seems to be helping me out. Again, I've built up a 2-minute time advantage. This is good. You know, any time advantage for me is not one for him, so I'm happy with this. If he goes c5, I suspect I can either trade if I want to keep it interesting, or I play d5 and just... even though I have a bad bishop, his bishop is totally blunted. He's played h4. Alright, time to offer the trade of rooks. Let's be generous. I can pre-move. King takes rook. Okay, this has happened. If king f1, perfect. Bishop d3 check. Oh, then bishop e2. Ah, it's a shame. I thought I could win a pawn with a cheapo. Oh well, never mind. It's most likely a draw here, but I'll play on a little bit. See if I can not lose my FIDE rating. Because I want to... yeah, again, I want to get to 2400. I've gained hardly any points, like 7 maybe. If I draw, I'll probably lose like 5. So I've gained about 2 points in 5 games. Should be a little bit embarrassing. All right, b3. I don't know, king e7 maybe? I don't know, bishop d3 looks quite good. Stops his pawns moving around. King d7. It does stop king f1, I guess. Let's do it. Let's play this. I don't have much hope of winning this, actually. I'm just seeing how well he's kind of positioned. He can leave his pawns and knight on the queen side like that forever, and I don't see how I'm breaking through. I guess I have to attack d4 with knight to f5 via e7. Maybe that's enough, but this looks like a really, really slow grind. Oh, and grinding can be very boring. Do I trade? Do I trade? What the hell? Yeah, let's trade it. Let's get rid of more pieces. Then set up my own pawns like he has done, because that's a really good setup. Knight f4 is also not playable. My own knight's there. And now it's just a matter of improving the kings. King d7. I want knight e7 at some stage, I think. c5 is also a move. I don't know, let's just improve the king. I can't work it out. King e6 looks pretty good. If knight f4, I will happily trade. Go into a drawish ending. So strange. I mean, king and pawn endings are ones where you're meant to be able to calculate it all the way to the end. But in these types of positions, it actually honestly is so hard to calculate to the end because there's so many pawns and they're all symmetrical. So he has done knight f4. I mean, I guess I could play king f5. No, I can't. What am I talking about? My pawn's attacked. Take it, right. Now, I don't want to allow his king to g5. It just looks too good. So f6 is interesting. Actually, c5 is an interesting one. Takes, king g5. King e5 probably loses anyway. Let's do king f6. Let's play simple. Okay, I don't want to get squashed. Let's push my own pawns. We're going to have a fun time pushing our pawns up the board. It's the Russian schoolboy problem with 3 against 3 or 4 against 4. A4, B5 doesn't work. A5, he goes C5. D5, he goes B5. No, he takes. No, he can take me, can't he? Can I go A6 just for fun? Yeah, let's go A6. Now he can break through with A5 takes, D5 takes, B5, but he'll be so many pawns down, and my king is actually close enough to prevent him from just winning. So it's still not easy to play this out. He has got a little bit more space though. This space thing is really difficult to play. So king e6, king g5 at the end. I don't know, maybe I just about hold it together. Whew. Okay, down to 2 minutes and a bit for him, 6 minutes for me. To be honest, a lot of my moves have been kind of reactionary, so it's not Incredibly difficult. 2.5 minutes left. I don't think he would take a draw either. I feel like white is actually a little better because of the space, but I don't think it's enough. B5 has been chosen. Wow, okay. So I have to calculate this. A takes. He does pawn c5. I don't think I can make a box. That'd be quite funny. I could do d takes. And then takes. And ooh, do I survive? Maybe I just bring my king over at the last second and I live. C takes is much easier. Yeah, C takes is a lot easier to play. It's very tricky actually, very, very tricky. Let's just do C takes. C takes must be okay. If he takes the A pawn, I can go A5, so that looks dangerous. Although actually his king is close enough, isn't it? With king king E4. So maybe he'll take with the C pawn. I don't know actually. Then do I go A5? He takes the A pawn. I don't actually know. A5, they go king E4. I would then do king somewhere, king E6, king D3. Okay, never mind. Academic. He's taken with the pawn that makes things easier. Now if I go A5, don't really see what I'm doing. So if I take and I take E6, king E6, king E4, F5, king F4. Does king D5 work? King G5, king takes, king H, king C4, king G6, and we both push pawns. Yeah, a fascinating ending. Wow. That would be insane if we did that. Difficult. Because what I'm looking at, pawn takes pawn, pawn takes, king E6, king E4, F5, check, king F4, king D5, king G5, king takes D4, you know, like king takes H5, king C4 or something, and then he marches his H pawn up the board. I march my D pawn up the board, and we both queen. So, oh, that's way too fascinating. Let's do it. Let's go for it. So what this will do is, I am going a little bit far-fetched here. I'm playing a bit silly overall, because if I'm wrong, I lose. If I'm right, I might win. Alright, well F5 looks really fun. The check. If he goes king F4, I always have king F6, which will be a draw. If king D3, king D5, and he's really, really, you know, close to losing, but not quite. He has done that. Okay, right. F5 check. This could be loads of fun. Which way is he going to go? King F4, king D5. And then it's a race. I think I just make it in time. Oh, he's done king E3. Okay. Ah, boring. Oh, wait, is it a draw? King D5, king D5. Let's march in. King D5. King D3. Can I go F4 at the very, very end? I'm going to have to analyze this. Wow. Can I go F4? King E6. Sorry. I go F4. He does pawn takes pawn. There's no other move, right? No other move. Pawn takes pawn on F4. I'm giving away a whole pawn. This is, I think it was maybe Mark Hebden I saw do this once. Because then I go king E6. He then needs to go king to thingamajig, king to E4. D5 check, king E3, king F5, king F3, G6, and I actually bring the king in. Wow. Do I win? This is so dangerous. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm just lost. It's so tempting. Do I play it? Wow, do I play it? Oh, oh, I'm so tempted. Why has he given me this option? He knows I'm going to do it. He knows I'm a crazy player. So wait, okay, f4, pawn takes pawn, king e6. Now, where does he go with his king? He could go f5 check, but I'll just take it. He'd go d5 check, I'll just take it. King c4, d5 check, king d3, king f5, king e3, king g4, outside passer. Okay, slob it. Good luck to you. f4. Okay, now king e6. I'm really hoping I'm right. This will be a horrible way to lose a tournament. Please let me be right. Not be utterly, completely, totally, embarrassingly lost. Do I have the g4, d5, f5 squares for my king? Do I have enough to win this game? His pawns are so broken that him being a pawn up does not matter. Those f-pawns are basically worth a pawn. I know there's two of them, you're seeing double, but they are not qualitatively, it's not a hard word to say, they're not worth it. I always have the tempo gainer, the tempo move, g6. Please let this work. He has done king e3. Alright, now, which way do I go? King f5, he goes d5, king g4. I think I still win. Do I go d5 first or king f5? It's a tricky decision, actually. If he goes f3, I go king f5 and I win. If he goes king f3, king f5, king e3, king g4. And then, then f5. Then king takes f5, king f3, g6. And I still win. King f5 probably is easiest, but I'm going to go d5 because this definitely draws. There's no way I'm going to lose this game. Well, I mean, yeah, there is a way. I can play absolutely terrible, which is something I do, as you may have seen. So d5. Let's go for it. Let's charge at him. Does this work? Does this work? I'm so kind of nervous of this. It might just draw. Okay, king e2. I need to work it out. King f5 must be the move. King f5. King e3. I have king g4. Okay, he has done king f3. So I have to go g6 with a tempo. Whichever way he goes, I go the other way. So king g4. Now, f5, I need to work out. Now, king takes can't be right, so I have to do pawn takes. If I do king takes, king f3 is easily drawing. So I must do this. Then I take h4, and I win. I think. Oh, but f3 is a little bit annoying. If I do king takes, he goes king f4, and it's a bit confusing. So king g3 makes it easier. Let's just play simple. I don't want to allow his king to be active, even though I might win the race. Let's not give myself difficulties here. I'm going to do king takes h4 next. Just play it really, really simple. Right, king to f2. King to h3. So this will give me a square. He'll go f4. Then I just move the king round. And now I think it's a win. Okay, thanks for watching. I did manage to win the tourney with 5 out of 5, just barely. There was one game going, Roger Zoo. That should be a draw. I'm going to have to end the video because my computer's got very little space left for recordings. But wow, I'm very happy to have won that with a very technical king and pawn ending. I didn't really deserve to win. Alright, hope you enjoyed watching. Bye.